All right, guys, so this is your class video for making ghee, Ghee. I've got 4 pounds of the big rolls of Amish butter that I found at Meijer. Yep, so I have 4 pounds in here, and we're going to start melting that down. In my sink, I have my little Pyrex measuring bowl that I can pour in the butter. I have my strainer, and then I have my tea towel, because I like tea towels better than I do the cheesecloth. I just feels like I feel like it filters better. And then in my microwave, I have 5 half-pint jars that I've already washed them. I'm just going to sterilize them in my microwave. And so we're going to start melting this down. Now you're going to notice a couple of different stages in this, and I'm going to bring you back during each stage. It will probably be about 4 stages, and each one is different. So I will bring you back once this starts melting and we get to that first stage. Okay, guys, so this is the first stage of ghee. This is where the whey proteins, the sugars, some of the water is now coming up. That's what that foam is. We're not going to worry about scraping that off or trying to skim it off until all the butter is melted. And then we'll start skimming it off just so we can see the bottom. Now at this point, I need you to be very, very careful if you're doing this at home, because this is where the butter will pop. That's why we're doing it in this big stock pot, because that way you can contain it better. But just be careful, because you will get popped. So just be mindful of it. So this is the very beginning stages. I will bring you back at that next stage. Okay, guys, so the butter is now melted. So what we're going to do, if you can get a good shot, if you can see this, is we're going to gently skim off the foam. And we're going to put it in a bowl over by the little pot. We're going to keep this foam that we're scooping off, because you really can't. You can use that if you make breads, or just put it on top of your bread. It really is good. You can use it in recipes. So we don't want to get rid of it. So all I'm doing is scraping off that foam, and just enough so we can make sure we get a really good look at the bottom. You guys see that boil stage? Again, the boil stage is going to change probably 3 more times before this is ready. And please be careful when you do this, that way you don't get burnt or popped with the butter. This is just all foam. And you don't have to worry about getting all of that off, because when we strain it out, it'll all strain, but we just want to be, we need to make sure we get a really, really good look at the bottom of the pan.
So that you can tell your stages apart better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because once that butter starts caramelizing at the bottom, that's when you really have to watch, and you really have to babysit. You can't just turn it on and walk away. This is a babysitting process, so don't go far, because it's only a 30-second interval before you go from ghee butter to burnt butter. So just, and and then depending on how quick you do this process, I wouldn't do it quickly, but this process could take roughly up to about 45 minutes. So be patient. It'll be worth it, I promise. I think that's good. So this is where we're at right now. I will bring you guys back at that next stage, okay? Okay guys, so this is the third stage of the boil. Don't know if you can see it, but it's a thick boil, if that makes any sense. It's you can just tell the boil's different. It's not oily. It's a very thick, heavy boil. So that's going to be almost close to the last stage before we get to clarified butter. Not ghee butter, but clarified. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. And then I've scraped off quite a bit of foam so we can get to so we can see the bottom. Now the next stage you're going to see is this golden clear butter that's going to start, this is going to start separating, and then you're actually going to be able to see the golden butter, and that is when you're going to see the caramelization at the bottom of the pan. I wish I could explain this better, but you'll get the gist of it in class. But yeah, this is almost the last stage before we get to the clarified butter, and then there's going to be one more stage, which will be the final boiling of the rest of the water out of the butter, and then that's when we'll get to ghee. So once we get to that golden butter stage in the clarified butter, I'll bring you guys back. Okay guys, so I don't know if you can tell, but the boil has changed once again. Again, this is the last stage before we get into clarified butter. But do you see how there is a separation going on, and you can it's starting to turn that golden color. And that's exactly what you want. And then at this point, what I want you to do is gently tilt the pan very slowly towards you to see if you're getting any caramelization at the bottom of that pan. I'm not seeing any yet, so that's good. But this is what you guys want to see. And again, this is the right before clarified. So we're going to let this go a few more minutes. It's going to even separate even more. And then we're going to be getting into the ghee butter. So I'll bring you guys back.
Here we go.
Okay guys, so do you notice that golden color coming up in the center? That is your ghee. We're right here. We're at the line between clarified butter and ghee. So this is what you want to see. All the little floaties you see are the remaining of the protein, the whey proteins, the sugars. This is actually, believe it or not, the water boiling out of the butter. And all of this is going to settle at the bottom, and I'm going to show you. We're going to go very, very slowly. But do you see that settling at the bottom? That's what you want. Okay? It's going to turn a caramelized color, but all those little floaties are going to settle to the bottom, and that's where you get your ghee butter. And that's where you get that nice buttery taste. So I wanted to give you a quick shot of that. And then, so we will bring you back at that very last stage. Okay guys, I think we've got ghee. So I'm going to show you the bottom of this pan. Do you see how it's caramelized at the bottom? So now we're going to strain it. See how the golden color, it looks more like oil than it does all the foam. Okay, so now we're going to strain it. And all that additional whey that did not settle at the bottom is going to be strained out. So you don't have to worry about that being in your jars. But this is what it looks like at the bottom now. Okay, and now we're going to work really, really quickly because we have to have warm jars and warm butter. We're going to work really quick because we have to get the seal on because that's what's going to seal our jars up for our ghee. Actually, I'm just going to leave that like that.
Yeah.
Look how golden that is. Liquid gold. So I could either pour it in now or I could ladle it in. Oh, that's hot. So I'm going to go ahead and ladle just until I get to the bottom of the butter or a little bit lower. We're going to go all the way up. You know what I forgot?
This.
I forgot my rag to wipe the...
Okay. You want me to get it?
And guys, this smells so good. Now, normally you would not want to use vinegar with any kind of dairy, but since this is butter and it is oil, I am using vinegar to wipe the rims because it cuts the grease. And then very carefully, because this is really, really hot, you're gonna crank these down. The one few times you're gonna crank them down. And this is all you do. I may not have gotten enough jars. I think I got 2 more up there. We'll see. So I warmed my jars up in the microwave. I've got hot butter. We do not want thermal shock. cranking it down. Missing a lid. That's not good. Okay, from here I'm just going to pour it because it's just minimal now. Oh, it's up there. Thank you. Looks like we got a little piece that went through the tea towel. Do you see it?
They do
A little bit of the sugars. Did I wipe that one? I didn't, did I?
Yes, you did.
I did?
You did. Mhm.
Right. But look how pretty. Almost looks like golden honey. And that's all you do, guys. You just leave it set for 12 to 24 hours, and then you always have to store ghee in a cool, dark place. It does not like light, and it doesn't like to be warm. So a cool, dark place, and this will last indefinitely. So, all right, there you go.